Welcome back to my channel. So today we are discussing Seeking Sister Life, Season 3, Episode 9, called You Dropped a Bomb on Me. Let's just hop right into it because this episode, my goodness. So, the Clarks. If you remember, Kayla and Gerard and Vanessa are no longer together. It has been several weeks, according to Gerard, that they have broken up. So Gerard kind of has a friend named Emily, who Vanessa also knows, and Emily is kind of interested in the polygamy circle. So they decide to all go on a date. And last episode I was asking how old Emily is. Turns out she's 22. And my question was, they immediately labeled her as a potential sister wife. That was a little bit, I don't want to say concerning, but it was a little bit interesting to me because it's like she's just curious. It's just one date. I don't know how she immediately gets labeled as a potential sister wife. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, I thought it was just a curiosity date, not necessarily, oh, we're courting type of situation. I don't know. But yeah, Emily asked kind of what the rules and restrictions were, and they kind of said that they want someone who would build with them. And I don't know. It just made me instantly think of Kayla because the way that they were phrasing it, it's like, but that you didn't allow Kayla to do, I don't know. It seems like they want someone just to stay in the home. Like they don't want someone who has to go out and work a 9 to 5 or go out and do this and that. They want someone that's like strictly in the home. So I don't know. Vanessa said she wants a best friend, and it is actually revealed that Emily's last relationship was with a woman, and Gerard tried his best not to react. It's kind of like that, wait, what type of situation? Like he wasn't expecting it. I guess they both didn't know about it, and she reveals that she is bisexual. So that was, unexpected to hear. Yeah, they were very taken aback by that. Their faces were just like, oh, okay, yeah. And then Emily later reveals that she was kind of wondering how open the relationship would be because, when people say that it's polygamy, but she's thinking that she's wondering, can she now turn around and have a partner? And Gerard and Vanessa made it very clear that it's closed. If you're dating me, you're only dating me. You're only in this family. You're not going to have your own separate relationship. And he actually says that he wants up to 4 wives. So yeah, he needs to hop on it. Later on, they kind of said that Emily was not a right fit. They kind of feel like because of her age, she's kind of wanting to explore, and she's curious, but she's not gonna, jump right in type of situation. They want someone that's sure that this is what they want, and it seems like Emily just wants to kind of explore her options. So they decided that she would not be a potential sister wife. And the next episode, we're going to see that they are actually courting someone else. So they are really not giving up on getting this potential sister wife. Okay? Next up, the Merrifields. Oh my. Oh my. The Merrifields. So, Garrick and Danielle are back from Mexico. So her sister-in-law kind of relayed to her mother that there might have been some issues on the trip. So kind of like as soon as Danielle walks through the door from greeting everyone, she darts to the bathroom, and her mom and sister-in-law are sitting on the bed, and they're just like, waiting for her to tell her story, and I put that they were sitting there waiting for the details, which they really were. They were kind of trying to coax it out of her, but they were really like, tell us everything. So her mom pretty much straight up said, do you feel like Garrick is going to treat y'all differently? And Danielle said yes. She's worried, y'all, and I feel like she has every right to be. The problem with these trips are that they are Roberta and Garrick focused. Even the first trip where they went to go meet her, it's like Garrick and Roberta focused. How do you transition that into everyone's a unit and we're gonna have peace and cohesion? I don't see how it's going to happen. It's kind of like Roberta is this new thing and he's just attracted to that new thing. It's like when Roberta's around, where's Danielle? It's like Danielle is all the way in the back, and that's how she feels. She feels like he treats them differently. How is that gonna work? And then her mom says that she feels like Danielle is only doing this to please her husband, and I was like, red flag, hold on, I have a question. I thought this was the Lord's will, and that's why we were doing it. Now it seems to me that Danielle is opening her eyes and being like, I'm sure, like, Danielle is really struggling with this, and Garrick just keeps saying, oh, we'll pray that the Lord takes away her jealousy. What if that's the Lord trying to tell you that this isn't a good idea? Did you ever think about that? Did you ever think about that? No? We didn't think about that? We didn't think about the fact that your wife is struggling, that might be a sign that this isn't the right move for, we didn't, no? Okay, Garrick. I guess that's the Lord's will. Let my wife, struggle while I have fun. Whatever. Later on. So Danielle finally sits down with Garrick because, as she said to her mom and her sister-in-law, they need to talk this over. She's not over it. She's not okay with it, and she needs to talk it over before she lets it boil. I just felt like Garrick tried to turn it back on her. She's trying to tell him how she felt. She's saying, y'all should have told me that y'all wanted to be intimate. Y'all should have told me that you needed space. And of course, she kind of threw it back at Roberta in the beginning, saying that she felt like Bert lied to her and it wasn't about family. But my thing is, Garrick just threw it back on her, and he was like, didn't Roberta assure you of her love when she said that she was willing to walk away? And she's like, yeah, but that's not what we're talking about. And then in a confessional, I don't think it was to Danielle. Was it to Danielle? I don't know who he was talking to, but he's like, oh, when Danielle left, I gave Roberta a kiss and it just felt a passion. What? So Danielle's whole thing was, y'all can't be two-faced. She's like, if y'all want to be intimate, like, please tell me, let me go be by myself. Don't lie about it. Don't act like y'all don't want it when y'all do want it. That was her whole thing. She's like, you should have disclosed that you want to be intimate and then let me leave. She was kind of saying that more to Garrick. She's like, obviously you, Garrick, wanted to be intimate. You should have told me when I came into the room when Bert suggested it that, no, I want to be with Bert by myself. She's like, you should have said that. And the producer asked a great question, because I feel like the producers are starting to see, like, this is not okay, but whatever. Or the producers are starting to see that there's some real tension and real issues that are being created here. So the producer said, seeing Danielle like this, do you ever think that she's just doing this for you? Or maybe she doesn't want to live this way? This is a producer asking it. And he was just like, no. He was just like, oh, no, this is the Lord's will. And, I believe that this is the Lord's will. We all believe that this is the Lord's will. And my question is, if you remember when they were just on a trip, Bert said she is willing to leave if Danielle is not comfortable with Garrick and Roberta's relationship, right? Roberta is like, I will walk away for Danielle's sake. And in a confessional, he's like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I can't lose Bert. I don't want to live without Bert. Now that Danielle is struggling, it's like, figure it out, Danielle. Figure it out. That, ask the Lord to forget, to, rid you of your jealousy, figure it out. So my whole thing is, when Bert wants to leave, it's a problem. But when Danielle has a problem, she should figure it out on her own. Obviously, you are not helping the situation. Obviously. And he's like, we're already in the process. There's nothing we can do. Excuse me, sir. Yes, you can. You can call up Bert and tell her, we need to put the brakes on this. We need to break up because my wife isn't doing well. That's something you can do. Okay. Cancel the visa. We're not going to see. That's something you can do. You cannot say that we are in too deep now. You definitely are not. And let's not mention that next episode, this man gonna talk about, oh, I miss Bert. I need to go back because we need to start having a baby. Excuse me, what? Sorry I'm acting like this, but I am just like flabbergasted at this point. And Danielle's sister-in-law is like, Sam is like, wait, what? Her visa's not even approved, but y'all want to have a baby? How is that going to work? And her sister-in-law brings up a good point where she's like, what if the visa isn't approved and she has to stay in Brazil? How is that going to work? Is he going to leave and like go to the baby? I mean, let's be honest here. If Bert has a baby, obviously he's going to be like, oh, I got to be there for my baby. And then Danielle is like, it's so, oh my gosh. This makes no sense at all. I'm so confused. Like, that's enough of them, because they are going to give me a stroke at the tender age of 28. Okay? I'm done. Merrifields, we have the Joneses. Yay! Sidian and Tasha. So, Sidian is excited. Alexandra said she's nervous and curious about the polygamy lifestyle. She looked really pretty. Blue is like definitely her color. Blue looked great on her. But yeah, they're really wondering if she's ready for this lifestyle. And side note, thank you, Sidian, for walking on the right side of the street. There's a way that men and women are supposed to walk on the street. The men is supposed to be closer to the street, just in case. But thank you, Sidian. So they went to a psychic for their first date. And the psychic immediately brings up that they're good together, that there's an energy. I think she even went so far as to say that in a previous life they may have been together. So yeah, but then she brings up marriage and kids. And I feel like Sidian, she brought up 3 kids, and I feel like Sidian tried to take the pressure off a little bit and was like, oh, I have 3 kids, not necessarily mean that Alexandra's gonna have 3 kids. But what the psychic said definitely put off Alexandra. You could tell, at the beginning, she's like, yeah. And then slowly it started to fade, and she was like, oh, man, yeah, this is pretty serious. So later on, because of COVID, Tasha set up a little table and chairs and wine type of situation in the backyard, and it was pretty. I love that they have a garden. That's so pretty. But anyway, they sat down, and basically Alexandra said that the psychic put a lot of pressure on her. She actually said she doesn't know if she wants kids. She's trying to figure that out. She's trying to figure out what she's looking for, what her boundaries are. And I'm like, well, good on you for stating that in the beginning. But then I also think about the fact that if they did meet through the dating profile, Sidian put that he needs someone who wants kids. So I find that kind of interesting. And like I said before, I think it was The Bald and the Beautiful said it when it came to Married at First Sight. If they said when you are seeing someone who's unsure about kids, it's better to say no. Kids are not an easy thing to deal with financially, emotionally, physically, mentally. So if you're unsure about kids, lean on the side of no. That's what they kind of said, especially when it comes to Married at First Sight. So I don't know. That's why I find it interesting that they were matched if she was like unsure about kids, but that's besides the point. And she kind of asked, are they looking for friendship or someone to move in the right way? And Sidian was kind of trying to play it off a little bit and was like, well, we can see how it goes type of situation. But I definitely think that they're looking, sorry, my voice is cracking, for someone to like move in right away and kind of settle down. Alexandra also revealed that she is actually dating multiple people and she's not sure if she wants to stop that casual dating, which is honest. And yeah, so I think as she was saying this, like, Sidian's heart was slowly breaking because I think he thought that they were more on the same page. He definitely mentioned that he liked that they discussed various topics together, but I think obviously they're not, sorry, my voice, they're not lining up as well as he thought they would. But she did say that she wants to remain friends, and she said she especially wants to build a friendship with Tasha, and as you know, Tasha's with that because, like she said, whoever is their sister wife, they are going to have to get along with Tasha as well. So yeah, next week we kind of see Tasha's reaction because obviously Sidian's gonna tell her more about how the date went, so that should be interesting. Like, is this necessarily another rejection, or is this just a wait and see type of situation? Like, what do you do in this type of situation? Like, yeah, I feel like she is confirming their concerns in more ways than one. So yeah, that should be interesting. And last but not least, really not necessarily dark, but they look irritated, especially up here. My eczema is acting up here, so it's a little bit dry and flaky, but you know what? Also, I haven't gotten any sleep really from since Saturday. I should have gotten more sleep. Anyway, last but not least, we have the Winders. So, Kimberly is still there. Yeah. They, Tammy, Sophie, and Kimberly did like a little nail thing. And she kind of revealed that, Kimberly kind of revealed that that's not really her avenue, that she's more of like a hunter, gatherer type of person. You know, the girly stuff isn't her, but they seem to have been getting along. But yeah, Colton, this guy cracks me up. He said he's not good at small talk, so yeah, this is not exactly his avenue of expertise, but they kind of sat down and they explained courtship to her about how, you know, if you were to date that, you know, you need chaperones and stuff like that. And she seems cool with everything. She doesn't seem put off by anything that they're really stating at this moment. She really wants the sister-wife type of relationship. So yeah, she said she is looking for a plural lifestyle type of situation. But, you know, they kind of mentioned that while a third wife looks, I don't want to say appealing, but looks good on paper, I would say. And the reason that they explained was kind of so if Colton was to go out with someone, the other sister wife, who, you know, if Colton was to go out with Sophie, Tammy would have someone at home to kind of hang out with, so that it's not necessarily that someone is always third wheeling. Like, that's the way that they were pushing it, was that so that there's companionship. If Colton decides to hang out with one sister wife, the other two will have someone. Although they did say that it's also nice to like stay at home sometimes, but that's kind of the way that they were presenting it. Also, they talked about the financial aspects, you know, to go from supporting 2 wives and 2 kids to now 3 wives and 2 kids and potentially more kids. Like, there's always, I don't want to say a downside, but financially you have to be able to support everyone, you know. But yeah, they kind of asked Tammy and Sophie, like, do you feel like sparks are flying between Colton and Kimberly? And Tammy's like, yeah, I don't really know. She's like, Colton is not really a sparky kind of guy. Like, that's just not who he is. And he has also expressed the fact that that's not who he is. So it should be interesting to see, you know, what happens in that aspect. Who knows? Like I said, you can't really read him too well, so yeah. But they did say that she's asking the right questions, because obviously, you know, she's dating, she is like inquiring about them and they're inquiring about her. And then next week, which I had asked this question, they are going to talk more about their religion, because like I said, it's one thing to enter into a plural relationship, but it's another thing to enter into a plural relationship that's kind of tied in spiritually. Like, they're obviously going to be looking for someone that respects their religion and is on the same page, because it's not just a plural relationship, it's a plural relationship in this specific religion. So, and I was wondering that. I was wondering in previous recaps if she is religious in any way. So that's the end of I was about to say Extreme Seeking Sister Wives. It seems like Extreme Seeking Sister Wives sometimes, but that is the end. I need some water. Ooh, I am parched. My voice is cracking. Anyway, that's the end of my recap. What are you thinking? I'm really curious specifically about... Wait, no. Did I miss somebody? The Snowdens weren't in this episode? No, they were not. Oh my gosh, how did I forget that? They are not in this episode. But if you remember in the previous recap, I was wondering if we're going to see the whole Dimitri, Ashley, the whole Dimitri and Chrissy marriage thing. And in the preview, we see that Dimitri's coming to Ashley saying that he wants to marry Chrissy. And I was wondering about that. And I found that very interesting, because from what I'm gathering, it doesn't seem like Dimitri and Ashley are legally married. So he would be legally married to Chrissy. So that should be very interesting to see. And how is Ashley going to react to that? Like, yeah, that should be interesting. But, yeah. That's the end, y'all. Tell me what you think. I'm looking for specifically the Merrifields. What are you feeling about the Merrifield situation? What are you feeling about their situation? It seems like everyone around them is saying that there are red flags, that there are issues, but yeah. I want to know your thoughts. Let me know. Like this video, comment below, subscribe to my channel, and thank you for watching. Thank you. Bye.